citizens. We are anonymous. Today we are going to expose certain things that the government doesn't want you to know. In other words, do what we do best. The truth about Syria, what the Obama administration doesn't want you to know. Western-sponsored propaganda lets the news cycle as the U.S. and Britain plan to strike Syria under a false pretense. Damascus mainline media rhetoric echoes across most of the Western world in the form of globalist sponsored propaganda designed to play games with the hearts and minds of the average citizen. Although lately there has been a shift in consciousness, many government-sponsored false flag events are now being brought to the attention of the general public through large independent news organizations like Intellitive.com and others. It is now pretty well known that the Obama administration has been desperately seeking a new war with Syria over the past few days. In fact, Britain even jumped on the bandwagon as warships armed with cruise missiles pre-positioned for a strategic strike on Syria later this week. However, some wonder what the justification for this new emerging war with Syria would be. According to the Obama administration, the Syrian government is responsible for chemically attacking their own people last week, killing hundreds and permanently injuring thousands. Although none of this adds up, why would the Syrian leader allow a chemical attack on his own people? It was also reported earlier in the week that the Russians were buying the official story of the White House, as they believe likely more is at play. Furthermore, the emails came out casting doubt that the Syrian government attacked their own people in the first place, signifying that likely the U.S. sponsored a false flag event to constitute the technical orders per United Nations rules of engagement. In fact, it now looks like U.S.-sponsored forces tried to either foil a UN inspection probe in a sniper attack earlier today, or make it look like Syrian forces did. CNN.com reported shortly before Monday's inspection, unidentified snipers shot multiple times at a vehicle used by the UN team, the United Nations said. There were no reports of injuries. The Syrian government accused terrorists of firing on the inspectors, Syrian state TV reported. The United Nations has not said who may have been behind the shooting, which came after an explosion near the site the team planned to visit. Some witnesses said it was caused by incoming ordnance, perhaps a mortar shell. All of this action is likely to reach a boiling point later this week, when the UN announces the findings of the investigation. The Obama administration is set to act swift and very deliberately, according to reports out of Washington. While some, including Russians, feel the U.S. was already predetermined to strike. The New York Times reported on Sunday, a spokesman for Russia's foreign ministry, Alexander Lukashevich, said that those who advocated an armed response to any chemical weapons attack without citing the United States or other countries were prejudging the results of the United Nations inspections. In these conditions, we again resolutely call on all those who are trying to impose the results of the UN investigations and who say that armed actions against Syria is possible to show common sense and avoid tragic mistakes, Mr. Lukashevich said in a statement released on the ministry's website. So what's not being reported? According to reporter Ben Swan, 300 U.S. Marines now sit along the Syrian border as the situation intensifies. What's happening in Syria is an enormous problem for the United States. The war in Syria is not a true civil war, points out Swan in a video report. Ladies and gentlemen, get ready to enter another war under a false pretense. Now before you take too much stock in the Assad bombing design, people hear about a previous story we did. London, January 30th, the Obama administration gave green signal to a chemical weapons attack plan in Syria that could be blamed on President Bashar al-Assad's regime and in turn spur international military action in the devastated country, the documents have shown. A new report that contains an email exchange between two senior officials and British-based contractor Britain Defense showed a scheme approved by Washington. As per the scheme, Qatar would fund rebel forces in Syria to use chemical weapons, the Daily Mail reports. Barack Obama made it clear to Syrian President Bashar al-Assad last month that the U.S. would not tolerate Syria using chemical weapons against its own people. According to InfoWars.com, the December 25th email was sent from Britain's Business Development Director David Willing to company founder Philip Dowdy. The emails were released by a Malaysian hacker senior executives' resumes and copies of passports via an unprotected company server, according to Cypher News. We are anonymous. We are legion. We don't forget. We don't forgive. Expect us anonymous site.